harness some of that energy in our meditation today. So when you're ready, we can go ahead and take a comfortable seat. Roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Keeping the chest lifted, we'll drop the nose down just a little bit toward the floor. Eyes can be closed or soft. Just lengthening out the breathing, just lengthening out your inhale and exhale. Sense down into the parts of the body that are in contact with the floor, in contact with the earth. Seeing if you can feel the weight of gravity holding you down, and also the pushing back of the earth supporting you here. Starting to expand your awareness, maybe a little deeper into the earth. And then using the breath to exchange energy here. So as you exhale, exhaling down the body and into the earth. And then inhaling, drawing back up from the earth, back into the lungs. It's like you're exchanging with Mother Earth here. And from this strong connection with the earth beneath you, exchanging breath with the earth, you can start to expand the awareness to the outside room, the things that are around you, without opening your eyes. Just sensing your presence here on earth, everything else moving around you. It's like you're a rock, just sitting still, wind, water, everything else washing around, not affecting you in your connection. And now, while you're sitting here connected to earth, we're going to change the direction of the breath and start to draw in from what is above the head, that open ether air space. So drawing your inhale from everything that is above down into the body. Exhaling out, feeling the breath leave the body and move up toward what is above. So through the strong connection of earth below, we're now going to exchange the breath with the air and everything that is above. Seeing if you can come to a balance between these energies, the connection with earth, the connection with air, balanced perfectly in your body. Take a couple more full breaths here. Long inhales, long exhales. And on your next inhale, slowly open the eyes and come back into your space. Okay, let's start with a side bend. We'll take the left hand down and the right hand up and over the head. Starting to bend that left elbow and maybe drop a little bit lower. Just making sure if you do that, that right hip stays down. Inhale, we'll come on up and over to the other side. Right hand down, left hand up and over the head. Inhale, back up to center. Going to bring both hands back by the hips, draw the shoulder blades together and down the back. We're going to lift the chest straight up toward the ceiling. And if it feels okay, coming into a bit of a back bend, starting to let the head drop back and tipping the pelvic bone. So you feel that arch in the back. If that doesn't work today, just work on lengthening center of the sternum up toward the ceiling. On inhale, we'll come on back up to center. Let's interlace the fingers and then turn the palms forward, elbows straight, and take the hands right up over the head, pushing the ceiling away from the floor, lengthening the side bodies. And breathing here. And we'll bring the hands back down. We'll change the interlace of the fingers so the other pinky finger is on the bottom. And then press the hands forward and back up again. Maybe just a little bit further back, a quarter of an inch more, elbows straight. And we'll bring the arms back down and release. Let's take the legs out. Let's take the left leg straight. I'm going to cross the right foot over the left. So the left leg is straight, toes up. You're going to bring your right foot to the floor, somewhere where it can touch the floor here. The knee kind of comes up toward the ceiling and lifting up to the top of the head, becoming nice and tall. You're going to take your left arm to the outside of the knee. You can push against that knee to help you turn. Taking your right hand down on the floor behind you, still lifting up to the top of the head to twist. So you can push against the knee, you can draw your right shoulder back and lifting up. So turn here. Inhale, we'll unwind, coming back to center. Then we'll switch to the other side. Right leg extends out, left foot comes to the floor on the outside of the leg somewhere. That knee is coming up toward the ceiling. So lengthen the spine. I'm going to turn here, dropping your right arm to the outside of the knee. You can keep pushing against that. Left hand on the floor. Reaching up to the top of the head, nice long spine, and turning here. On inhale, we'll unwind. And then release the legs. We're going to work our way into hands and knees for some cat-cow. So hands directly under the shoulders and the knees underneath of the hips, and feet are hip distance apart. When you're ready, cat-cow pose, tailbone up and chest up, belly drops toward the floor on your inhale. On your exhale, abdominals to the spine, lifting up toward the ceiling, arching the back, into cat pose. Move back and forth here. Just moving with your breath. Trying to kind of over-exaggerate the movement a bit so you can really find the edges of the postures. How much can you exaggerate your cat-cow? So remembering the pelvic bone tips forward and back. And when you're in your cow pose, you're looking up, maybe up toward the ceiling. So you might feel the neck here. And when you're in your cat pose, abdominals pulling in and pushing through the hands, really trying to get a full stretch. And the next time that you're in cat pose with the arch back lifting up toward the ceiling, that will be the last one. We'll come back to a neutral spine. From here, I'm going to do a twist. We'll take the right hand directly under your nose. On your inhale, take your left hand up toward the ceiling, so reaching up here. On your exhale, I'm going to bring the hand along the floor and through toward the right side, dropping your shoulder down. Full exhale. On your inhale, open back up toward the ceiling. Inhaling and open. And on an exhale, draw the hand along the floor and reach. Full exhale. On your inhale, open here. Up toward the ceiling. Exhale and reach. I think that's 3. So we'll do one more here. Inhale and open. And exhale, reach through and hold and breathe. So you might bring your head or your shoulder down to the floor. You could push into your right hand and start to draw your right shoulder to stack on top of your left. On the inhale, we'll come on back to center. Let's try the other side. So now left hand directly under your nose. On your inhale, right hand comes up toward the ceiling. Big inhale to open. Exhale, slide the hand along the floor through to the left side. Full exhale. Inhale and open. This big inhale. Exhale, slide the hands through. Full exhale. Inhale and open. Exhale and through. And one more. Inhale and open. Exhale and reach, hold and breathe. Maybe coming down on the head, shoulder, or both. Maybe pushing into that left arm, left hand, and starting to draw the top shoulder back. On inhale, we'll come on back to center. And then from here, we're going to take the hands slightly forward, spreading your fingers wide. We're going to bring the hips forward now for a half plank pose. So hips in line with your shoulders and your knees, abdominals supporting, evenly pushing into your fingers, straight elbows, broad across the collarbone, and breathing. Half plank pose. From here, you're going to tuck your right toes under and then push back through your right heel. We're going to straighten out that leg, 3/4 plank pose. So left knee still down. You're just pushing back through your right heel. So it's like you were going to be in a full plank pose, only your left knee's down. So pushing back through your right side, just the right side. Abdominals supporting, breathing. We'll bring the right knee down. Now I'm going to switch sides, pushing back through your left heel, bringing left knee off of the mat. Coming into 3/4 plank on the other side. So everything else is still in your half plank alignment, just pushing back through your left heel. From here, we'll bring that left knee back down onto the floor and back into your half plank pose. You're going to swing your right foot out to the side. Try to make contact with the floor. You're going to rotate here, stacking your hips and stacking your shoulders. So your left foot can find where it needs to be straight in line from the hip. Stacking your shoulders, you might take your hand up toward the ceiling. We're in a half side plank pose. So your hips are still in line where they were before, that the shoulders are stacked over your right hand. And then we'll come on back into our half plank pose. Couple breaths here. And then we'll switch sides. Swing your left foot out and rotate, stacking hips, stacking shoulders. Coming into half side plank on this side. So you're actively pushing into the hand that's on the floor, trying to separate the hands, separate the shoulder blades. And then we'll come on back around, half plank pose. Elbows in close to the body. We'll lower all the way down to the mat. Bringing the tops of the feet to the floor, tailbone down toward the floor. Draw the shoulder blades back onto the back and lift the head and the chest, cobra pose. Elbows in close to the body, lifting head and chest. You might look up toward the ceiling. Breathing here. And then we'll come back down to the floor. We're going to slide the hands back just a couple of inches in close toward the body, elbows in close. Tailbone down, and then lift the head and the chest, push into your hands and try to straighten your elbows. So you can do seal pose. Draw the shoulder blades back and down away from the ears, tailbone down. Elbows are straight, knees are down. Now, if your back is feeling okay here, try to bend your knees and take your feet toward the ceiling. If that's not going to work today, just keep the feet down. Right here. If the feet are up, we'll bring the feet back down, elbows in close, we'll lower back down to the floor. Slide your hands back up in line with your shoulders. Now elbows in, push up to half plank pose, nice and strong. Tuck the toes for a downward facing dog. Connecting with your downward dog, feeling the 4 points on the floor, 2 hands, 2 feet, evenly distributing the weight across the feet and the hands. Yeah, and you can take a peek up by your hands. If your blocks are close by, I'm going to have one block. You can bring your knees down if you need to. And have one block on either side of the mat up close to the front of the mat, and you'll need a blanket close by too. So if you have that, when you come back into your down dog, you're going to bring your blanket across your mat. So you're going to be doing downward dog over your blanket. and your blocks are up close to your hands, if all that makes sense. Blocks up close by the hands and a blanket folded up right underneath of you in your down dog. So doing down dog over. Okay, good. Looks like everybody's ready. All right, so from here, you're going to take a big step with your right foot. Bring your right foot up by your hands. And you're going to bring your left knee down to your blanket. So you can take a peek back if you need to make any adjustments to where the blanket is. You want your knee to be on the blanket. And then here's where you can use your blocks to help you come up. You're coming into Anjaneyasana, which I'm going to turn around sideways so you can see, which means that I want you to have your front foot forward enough that your hips come forward. You want to be able to feel a stretch on that back leg. So if you're like right on top of your knee, you're not far enough forward. Bring the hips forward and down so that you feel a stretch across that back leg. Good. It's hard for me to tell on the camera, but it looks like everybody's here. So your front knee is right over your ankle. If you need to walk that foot forward, you can. And then from here, if you feel okay, you can bring your hands up onto your knee. You're going to squeeze in. So squeeze in isometrically. Squeeze your foot, your knee together, pulling into your core. If you're okay here, you can take your arms over your head for Anjaneyasana. You can also keep your hands down if you need, if you're not quite able to hold the posture here. Turn back around. Anjaneyasana, you're squeezing from all sides here. You're pulling into the core, lifting the chest, breathing. I'm going to bring the hands together now at the center of the chest and lean forward. From here, try to hook your elbow to the outside of your knee. So left elbow to the outside of the knee. And then you can push into your hands together and start to turn the chest toward that right side of the room. Try to keep the hips and legs where they are. Don't let them twist. Starting to open the chest toward the right. And of course, lengthening from your tailbone to the top of the head, twisting around the spine. Squeezing in the legs to keep the stability, breathing. I'm going to inhale, unwind, so you can come back into Anjaneyasana. Then we'll bring the hands down to the blocks. So we're going to straighten the front knee, bringing your hips back toward your left foot. So your toes may come up on your front leg, that's okay. And then you could, if you want to keep going, go ahead and drop your nose down toward your right knee. On inhale, we'll come on back up. You're going to switch sides. So you can place your hands, slip that foot back, and then come back into a downward facing dog. So coming back to that starting position. And then we'll take a big step forward on the left side, coming to the other side. Drop your right knee to the blanket. Walking your left foot up as much as it needs to go so that you can bring the hips forward and tailbone down. You can really feel a stretch on the front of that right side. Make sure we got that lengthening out. Use your blocks for stability here. When you've got that, you could come up with the hands on the side. Just make sure you don't take the hips back. Hips are still forward. And if you still feel solid here, arms up, Anjaneyasana on this side. Just noticing how you're breathing. Notice if you have any expression on the face or if the eyes are really hot, popping out of the head. Trying to calm the face, calm the breath. Then we'll bring the hands together at the heart. Leaning forward here, we'll come into the turn. So you're going to drop your right elbow to the outside of the knee. Keeping the hips where they are, we'll start to turn, pushing the palms together and drawing the center of the chest and the thumbs together. And on inhale, we'll unwind, coming back into Anjaneyasana. Oh, excuse me. I knew it was there. All right, from here, we'll bring the hands down, straighten that front leg, possibly lifting the toes, hips back toward that right foot, and maybe even dropping down, taking the nose down toward your knee. And then on an inhale, we'll come on back up. You're gonna slip that knee back or that foot back, place the hands and downward facing dog. And you can clear the blanket off of your mat. You can clear your blocks off of your mat. And then we'll bring the hands and feet together for an Uttanasana, standing forward bend. So tailbone goes up toward the ceiling, upper body is soft, head drops down toward the floor. Balancing your weight across your feet. So from heels to toes, right in the center of the feet and left and right sides of the feet, evenly pushing down in the feet and lifting that tailbone right up toward the ceiling. We'll make sure the feet are hip distance apart, outside edges parallel, and take a deep bend of the knees and come up for chair pose. So knees are bent, tailbone pointing down between the feet, elbows straight, shoulders away from the ears. Push into your feet, come on up to standing, release your hands to your lower back. Shoulder blades draw together and down, tailbone comes forward, back bend, lifting the center of the chest up and back toward what's behind. You might look all the way back behind. You might just look straight ahead. And then we'll draw the abdominals in and come on back up to standing. Oh, my camera didn't recognize me. Apologies. There it is. Okay. Guess I was walking too quickly. All right. Let's work on tree pose. Do a little bit of balancing work. You're going to stand on your right foot. Find your right foot. Find your right side of your body. Rooting down into the earth, connecting with that Kappa earth energy. Left foot is going to come up, so you could just bend the knee. Take the knee out to the side. The foot could be down on the floor, or you could bring your foot to the inside of your shin, or above your knee to the inside of your thigh. It doesn't really matter where it is. You could use a piece of furniture if you need for balance. Connecting with the earth, still breathing. Hands anywhere you like. Try to keep your hips level with the floor. So if one hip is higher than the other, that's going to throw your balance off. Yeah, so try to find that level hip. Shoulders are stacked right on top of the hips. Hands can be anywhere you'd like. Breath flowing. Tree pose. Noticing all those micro movements that are needed to keep you balanced. And come on out with control. Okay, good. Let's try the other side. I'm going to root that left foot down. New side, new experience. Letting go of what happened or didn't happen on the other side. When you're ready, right knee bends out to the side. Right foot comes up. Any version of tree pose on this side. It's finding your challenge place for today, wherever that might be. Not holding the breath. All right, we're gonna come on out with control. All right, gonna work in the Trikonasana triangle pose. So if you have a block, you might want it to be outside of your right foot. Right foot forward, left foot back. Toes in on your left foot, toes out on the right foot. So it might feel like you're going to twist the hips around toward that right foot, but you're going to actually keep the feet where they are and open the hips in line with the feet. So there's an inner spiral on your left leg, an outer spiral on your right. Both legs are straight, both feet connecting with the earth. So if they're rolling or twisting, really finding the full sole of the feet on the floor. From here, we'll take the arms out to the sides, shoulders right over your hips right at this point. Reach through your right fingertips and then hinge, coming down, bringing your right hand down to the block. If you're using one, stack your shoulders and your hands here, one on top of the other. Opening the chest. And bring your head and shoulders, everything in line with your left foot. So really sense down into your left foot, find the line there. It might mean leaning back a little bit. Triangle pose, both legs straight. Trying to relax some of your effort. So noticing if you're gripping the jaw or the face. Just using the muscles that you need to hold the posture. Relaxing where you can. From here, we'll bend that right knee right over your ankle to come up for warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. So hips are still in line with your feet, still out to the side, lateral series posture. Hands are in line with the feet as well, breathing. If you want a stronger posture, walk your toes just a little bit forward on the right side and drop the hips straight down toward the floor. Jill, it's a beautiful posture. Traditionally, we look out over the fingertips that are over your bent knee. So normally we look the other way, but that looks great for me about it too. All right, we're going to take that right arm up and over the head for reverse warrior. Left hand comes down the back of the leg. Inhale back into a warrior two. Straighten the legs, you're going to switch sides. You might be able to just swap your feet around. You may have to turn around, stepping your feet together and then turning. So come to the other side for your triangle pose. We have that left foot forward, right foot back. So same thing here, make sure you connect with your feet. Solid feet on the floor, right toes in, left toes out, hips in line with your feet. Both legs straight, arms up when you're ready. And then reach to the left hand, hinge at the hips and come down for Trikonasana. Stacking your shoulders, one on top of the other. Might feel like you have to lean back a little bit to bring that head and shoulders in line with your right foot. So yeah, draw that right shoulder back, right hand straight up toward the ceiling. Yeah, there you go. Triangle pose. And connecting with your breathing. So we're saying if your breath has become shallow, it feels like you might be working hard, just trying to use the breath to calm the body. I'm going to bend that front knee and come up for warrior two. Knee bent. Adjustment two. Again, trying to relax some of your effort, just using the muscles that need to work, letting go of what doesn't, finding that ease in the posture, finding where you can soften. Turn that left palm up to reach up for reversed warrior on the side. So you're moving away from your front knee. So whichever knee is in front, that's the hand that's going to be up toward the ceiling. Yeah, there we go. And then on an inhale, we'll come back into a warrior two. And then relax. You can step your feet together. We're going to come all the way down onto the floor. I'm going to come down onto your back and have a strap handy. So you're going to come down, knees bent, feet on the floor, down onto your back. From here, you're going to come into a bridge pose. So you'll walk your feet in close to your hips, both feet down. You're going to bring your hands down by your hips as well. I'm going to push in your elbows just so you can draw your shoulder blades more together onto the floor. You should feel more of a flat back on the floor. And then from here, push into your feet to lift the hips straight up toward the ceiling and push into your shoulders to push down there. You're going to start to feel an arch in the back. So hips straight up, bridge pose. The strength is in the legs, so using those leg muscles, and keep your tailbone pointing toward your knees. So that's going to help protect your lower back. And then we'll lower the hips back down to the floor. Draw your knees in close. I'm going to grab a hold of that strap and I'm going to lasso your feet. So if you can, take the strap around both feet. And then we're going to kick those feet straight up toward the ceiling. Now, maybe you don't need the strap and you can hold your feet easily with your hands, in which case you could drop the strap. But if you can't reach your feet, that's what you have the strap for. So I'm going to try to straighten those knees, pushing the feet up together. Feet are together, legs are together, holding onto the strap as needed. And notice the position of the back on the floor. So if your tailbone's already curling up toward the ceiling, your hips are already up, you're going to try to lengthen out the back, keeping the spine long on the floor.
Abdominals in. Now here you can use your arm strength pulling on the strap or your feet. Start to take your feet over your head. You might start to feel the thighs press against the lower belly. So again, if your hips are coming up, you're going to try to root them down. And the closer in that the legs come, the more you feel that compression in the lower belly region. And we'll release some of the tension on the strap so the feet can come up toward the ceiling. I'm going to slip your right leg out of the strap and extend it down onto the floor. Keep your left foot still in the strap. Right leg extended long on the floor. I'm going to hold both straps in the right hand. So both, just a crisscross here, both straps in your right hand, even though it's your left foot that's lassoed. Holding it in your right hand, you're going to take both your left leg, once up toward the ceiling, you're going to roll it over to the right side of the room. You're going to roll all the way out onto your right outer hip. So bringing that foot toward the floor, perhaps. And you can continue to walk your right hand down the strap. You might even be able to grab a hold of your foot. So your left foot might be in line with your shoulder. It might be up that high. I'm going to take your left shoulder now and drop it down toward the floor. That's going to open your chest toward the ceiling. So your chest is moving toward the left and your lower body toward the right. And then one last thing just for fun, if you want, bend your right knee, that leg that was straight, that was down toward the floor and does not have a strap on it. You could bend your right knee, reach down with your left hand, grab a hold of that foot, and then drop your shoulder back down toward the floor. It's just an option. You could also just keep that leg straight and just work on the twist here. All right, if you're holding your foot, your right foot, you're going to release that to straighten it again. You're going to unwind, coming back to center. And then we're going to switch feet. So we're going to slip the right foot into the strap, release your left foot, left leg down onto the floor. Holding both straps now in your left hand, you're going to take that right leg all the way over to the left side, rolling onto your outer left hip, maybe bringing the foot all the way to the floor. Right shoulder comes down toward the floor, opening the chest toward the ceiling. So a twist in the body. An option here, if you want, bend the left knee, reach down and grab your foot with your right hand. And if you're holding your foot, you can release that. I'm going to roll on back to center. I'm going to let go of the strap. I'm going to work our way into Shavasana, corpse pose. Extending the legs long. Hands down by your sides, either palms up or palms down, your choice here. Super comfy, corpse pose. Allowing the eyes to close, the face to soften. Just let gravity take over, allowing gravity to pull the body down into the earth.
Allow the breath to deepen. Some movement to return to the body. As you're ready, make your way to a seated position. Hands together at the heart. Give yourself credit for showing up, for doing your practice, for staying present, for giving this gift to your body. Thank you all also for sharing your practice with me and the others on the call. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Sleep well, drink water, and we'll see you next time. Namaste.